What's up with it? It's QD with Chance and Rhythms. Just sending a shout out. Wanted to send a message out to the rap and hip hop community. Gonna be sending out instrumentals, for artists to use. Man, I know a lot of artists out there are looking for beats. There's a lot of beats going around. There's a lot of different styles now, which is the message I want to send out there. So make sure you check out chanceandrhythms.com. I got the Chance and Rhythms Facebook page. It's out there on social media. I'll be getting out more beats than anything, but I got some collaborations coming up, with folks that are interested in putting bars together. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, on that note, want to just touch in to the conversation on old school music or music from the 80s and 90s and new school music now, because what's being talked about is there's a lot of trash talk from the new folks that don't appreciate what the older music was about, and vice versa. The older folks are not appreciating what's coming out nowadays, and there's both sides of that story. But as a person that was born in 1980, I grew up in the 80s and 90s and saw the development and the bar being raised when it came to rap and hip hop. If you didn't grow up around that time, it's hard for you to understand where the foundation is and what gave you, if you're young, gave you the opportunity to do what you're doing. And if you don't recognize that, you ain't showing love in the game. And I tell you what, that'll keep you down if you continue to do that. So this is a friendly, positive message, and I'm gonna send a message to the OGs too, because the OGs, whether it was a prominent artist or whether it was somebody who grew up in that experience, are looking for new music to have live up to a standard that's got a high bar. We're looking for that. And the OGs that try to pass the torch feel like the music should be better than what it is, because some of the shit is pretty whack nowadays, and the style is pretty questionable. And so older folks and OGs got to take accountability for that also, because a lot of you all are our kids. A lot of you younger folks have been brought up from those older generations, so it's half our fault. And I'm gonna put that out there. But in the 80s, the foundation was starting to be created on what you have now. The opportunity that you have came from that. The founders, the kings and queens of rap and hip hop that laid down the sounds that manifested into what you're trying to do with it nowadays. So you got to recognize that. And in the 90s, the bar was raised. It was innovated to the highest degree in the 90s. If you don't believe that, or if you don't feel like that, I would say you got to check your game and get knowledgeable and get up in your history, man, and start listening to old music, because the old music was depicting the struggle that was being endured by folks from the street, what they had to go to in order for rap and hip hop music to get recognized. And we put that out there and forced it to be recognized, and gave you the platform to what you have now. If you don't have any love for that, man, well, you a cold piece of work, and you ain't gonna go nowhere with it. I guarantee you that. And so the bar was raised in the 90s. It was raised, and it got to its peak. And long story short, right around the time when Pac and Biggie passed away, the game reset. After that, the game got real quiet. If you're super young, you probably don't remember that, but anybody that's an OG or older folk that went through that time knows that the game was cold. It went cold for a hot second, and the game was wondering what it was going to do with itself, because the game wouldn't be the same if Pac and Biggie and many others were still around. There's many others that I'm not mentioning right now, but I'm just putting forth a message on what happened in history. In the late 90s, the game dropped off. And it took a few years. It was cold for a while. And people had to figure out what they were going to do with it. What was the direction? We really lost somebody. We lost people that were pioneers and innovators, the true ones that really set where rap and hip hop is gone. And what happened in the 2000s and until now is a lot of little bits and pieces of parts of the puzzle kind of got picked up and turned into some interesting outlets. And that's the basic way of looking at this. So what Chants and Rhythms is supposed to be about older folks and young folks collaborating with new sounds. You can do that. There can be a mixture of it, because the bar has to be raised again. And the OGs and older folks, we want to push that bar up and make sure that torch is being passed. We're ready to see that. Some OGs are coming out of retirement because it's not being done right, and you can't blame them, because people are searching for that music again. The other thing is, you got to look at what the message for rap and hip hop is. The grind and struggle that I mentioned before to set up this platform got turned into something that's really not very highly respected. It's not highly respected by true business people, by true pioneers internationally. It's not respected. It's like a laughing stock now. You gotta hold your game a little bit higher than that. If you're a young buck, you know what I'm saying, and the style that you've tried to manipulate it into now is being questioned so hard, you got to recognize why it's being questioned. And so that's why, I put together Chants and Rhythms. It's supposed to be a melting pot of people that help create and sustain the foundation. And then after historical things happen and the game changed, the sounds changed, the styles changed, there has to be some balance in it to get it back up on track. So anyways, just want to say, step your game up, keep your game up, and a shout out to all the real ones out there that are doing real good things, that are putting quality time into their production. I'm not talking about the folks that put together a beat for an hour and talk through a beat. I spent a day on a song. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the folks that live this. You know what I'm saying? And revise it. Spend weeks on it, months on it. And the message is that you have to focus on quality rather than quantity. What a lot of people don't take into consideration, a lot of people that are not business oriented. If you want to do business, you're really going to understand one basic principle in business is that quality complements quantity. You're going about it all the wrong way. Anyways, man, this is QD with Chants and Rhythms. Check out some of my music. It's coming up on here. I'm sending out posts. Check out the Facebook page, but get on to chantsandrhythms.com. There's going to be free downloads, and there's going to be downloads for purchase, non-exclusive and exclusive coming up, that are things that are going to add to albums. If you're really going to put together any albums, check out some of my stuff, because I've been working on this for a lot of years. It's just barely coming out. All right.